What's up, Mortgage Coach community? I am super pumped that I'm sitting down with Gina Myers. Gina, is this the fourth or third time that I've interviewed you? I'm trying to remember.
I think formally, I think it's the third time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
formally the third time, and I am super excited to hear what your Realtor playbook is for this year. Last year was a tough year for most folks in the business. How did you fare in 2022?
Sure. Yeah. So I ended up right around 105 million. It was right around 160 transactions. So yes, that was pretty darn less than the year before. But what I said to my husband was when I woke up on January 1, sometimes it feels so heavy because every year you're like breaking records, you're like, oh my God, have to do that again. And I kind of felt like, you know what? I survived. I'm okay. I feel like my team is super tight right now, a little bit leaner, but I have my horses, my go-tos, and I feel really good. I feel really good. I think there's so much opportunity right now for lenders and realtors to just take it to the next level. This is when most people's business, if you're really going to be super successful, this is when the business is made. So I feel like we all have a great opportunity right now.
Awesome. And how down is that from 2021? What was 2021?
Yeah. So 2021 was just under 190 million. I think it was like 350 units. So it's not quite 50%, but it's I would say about 40% under. So yeah.
That's the number. And then what is your plan for 23 for this year?
Yeah. So, well, I definitely think it's gonna be more than this year. I would like to end up around, I would say 130 around there. I'm not going to try to kill myself and increase it too much, but I think 10 to 20% isn't a bad target. Like I think it's going to be a very good year ahead. So I can already tell this week is starting off with a bang, as it does typically, seasonally, but I feel a lot more energy than I did last year. So
Well, that's good. That's good news. Well, I think, from what I'm hearing, and again, the year just started, so I haven't interviewed a lot of folks in this January effect, but from what I am seeing, it's not a market pivot. Last year we had a massive shift in the market. And this year, the market has shifted. We know the market that we're in, and some loan officers have prepared for that. It sounds like you and your team have prepared for that. So let's get into your top realtor playbook for the year. So and we don't have to do it for the year. For January, February, as we prepare for spring home buying season. Sure. What are some of the most important things you're doing to be successful with your realtor partners? And what are some examples of where you're winning and how you're winning in today's market?
Sure. I mean, I think I'm much more consistent than I've been in the past. Down to the basics of setting my day up for success. I mean, it's that detailed. I've taken it back to now I'm waking up, 5:10 a.m. I snooze once. I'm at the gym. Like I have accountability partners. One of them's one of my biggest agents. Just so happened that we both decided to go to this gym, and I have a face-to-face with her every single day, and then, so my day, I'm just starting my day off on the right foot has been a huge game changer for me, because if I can do that hardest thing first thing in the morning, everything else is easy. So waking up and going to F45 at 5:45 a.m. every day is very hard. And so everything else from there is easy. But really it's just being consistent, increasing the phone calls. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have, it's a consequence wheel. So instead of it being like a prize wheel or success wheel, I nicknamed myself the Genester, but it's the Genster's consequence wheel that I put together with my team, because I have to empower them to tell me to get back in line, right? So if I'm the one that's driving the leads and the business, and I'm the only one, then how do I help them keep me accountable versus, did you make your calls, Gina? And so I have to make those, I follow the coaching programs, program right now. And that's 50 calls every Monday. And then the 20 whale calls on Friday. The other theme days are for clients and agents, Tuesday updates, pipeline, and VIPs. So I'm making those calls. And when I don't, I have to spin this wheel, which I hate everything on that list. So the team loves it. And I've spun it once. But it's been really successful. I hate being punished. I really like to be like, pat my head. You did a great job. So this has been, a game changer for me.
So guys, a couple notes if y'all missed it. So one, she's got a morning routine. She's taken it to a new level, and she's killing two birds with one stone. She's got a health benefit to what she's doing and an energy benefit, and it's with a top real estate agent. So super smart, super strategic. And then two, she's gamified accountability and consequences. So that's super fun. I actually haven't heard that one before, where someone has teamed up with their team and you're just having fun. And so that's cool. I'm going to be interviewing Jeremy tomorrow around his Realtor Playbook. So it'll be fun to hear what he's up to.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So what are some other strategies, other things you're doing that are going to help you win with agents this year?
Yeah. So increasing the calls is one thing, but what are you saying? So in the past, I always made phone calls and just said, hey, what's going on? And I cannot believe I did that, but I did. I just hope that people liked me. And now it's, what am I saying today? And there's, I think about, and during the week, I'll take notes or jot down a list of value add, quick conversations, quick one-liners, something to catch their attention, something to add value or educate them, because I constantly want to be viewed as someone who's educating them, supporting them, motivating them. And that is the feedback I'm getting, right? So now when I'm calling, they'll say things like, someone said to me, I should run for office. They're like, you always have so many good points. You're always excited about it. You have great energy. So that I definitely do not want to run for office, but it supports my goal because I want to come across as being helpful, excited, motivating, and giving them value. It's not about me, it's about them. So making sure I have a talking point. And gosh, really, I mean, telling stories. I always think, what is that storybook that I have right there? Story Brand by, I can't read, Donald Miller. Yeah, Donald Miller wrote that book, Story Brand, right? I think people are very, they'll tune in when you're telling them a quick story, and it makes things more relatable. So I have my couple of stories that I tell people about how we've helped, whether it's an agent or a client or a difficult situation. And they remember that before over remembering what the Fed is saying about interest rates or something, so trying to make it digestible as well. And then of course, the 2-1 buy down, I've been talking about that because they want to know, what can we say to people? What are some tactics and strategies? And even the most seasoned agent struggles with some of these strategies because they're out of practice. It's not their fault that they don't understand, but they haven't had to understand these types of strategies in a long time. So yes, of course, I've sent listing agents, if they say, oh, I'm just doing listings. Okay, well, do you have any that are sitting? Let me send you the TCA for the 2-1 buy down or some, 3-2-1 buy down. I landed the biggest whale that I've been working on for years. I discussed the temporary rate buy down with him. And then he said, hey, can you come into my office and do a video with me about it? And I said, yeah. And we went in, we did a video together. And ever since then, I think 50% of all my leads in December were from him. Got a huge team. They've all now been doing videos with me. So, like saying yes to videos, right? I mean, that's part of the Mortgage Coach program is the video concept. And I just keep saying yes. So
I love it. I love it. So I think there's going to be a central theme probably all year long. And really when I think back, what I'm going to say next has been a theme for a long time now. And first of all, mortgage coaches are giving advice and they're giving education. So as a mortgage coach, it's winning through not, I've got the lowest rate, I saw problems and I closed loans on time. Those are, by the way, those are our table stakes. Those are super important things to do, but they're not unique and different. But when you can, tell stories that are unique and different, and when you can deliver strategies that are unique and different, you probably know Sean because he's in the core as well. But I did an interview with Sean Kaplan 4 days ago. And it was really, guys. First of all, this video is awesome because not because I'm in it, but because Sean, and it's kind of hearing the story you're getting ready to share. He was telling a story how there was a builder that sells 100 homes a year that he's known for 20 years and has not been able to get their business. And then he shared basically, how he got their business. And it was, he showed up with an actual, 2-1 buy down TCA. So there's a link to it in the video. And then he actually recorded a video in front of the property about how he's going to help that builder sell these homes. So it was kind of, and Gina, you'll actually want to get your team watching this because he not only, had like a unique video going after a whale builder, he even had like a piece of social media content. So when he showed up there, it was, you know what? Let me show you how I can help sell these homes. Got a little marketing video that I already made for you. And 20-year builder, 100 homes a year. He's getting business now. Like he changed. And to me, it's because he's helping solve one of the biggest problems agents have, builders have right now. And that's getting people under contract. Like there's pre-approval and now we got to get them under contract. And then we got to get them to close escrow. And that requires some storytelling and some strategy development. So it sounds like you're doing that to some extent. Do you got any stories or any strategies that you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I think he took it to the next level of having the video in front of the house and the social media. That's amazing. Now I'm like, yes, okay, another idea. I think that the temporary rate buy down strategy and showing it, right, and highlighting obviously the monthly savings line that's already included in the TCA is like, right, like crazy. I mean, I think we are helping the agents create business, and by doing this strategy and educating them. I think I was mentioning to you earlier, not everyone goes with the exact strategy that you're outlining or that you get the momentum on. And that's okay, right? Like, I think some people are like, well, it's not really right for everybody. Well, of course it's not. Every loan product isn't right for everyone. So I think you mentally have to just shift that and educate them. And I think it really highlights showing your expertise. So even if they don't go that route, it's still pretty cool to use it as the introduction. But yeah, this past, I would say quarter, we helped quite a few people with the strategy for the temporary rate buy down. A military buyer ended up getting a great deal on $1 million home. It appraised 100,000 over. He got all $50,000 of concession, paid for all the temporary rate buy down, paid for all of his closing costs. His monthly savings in year one was over $1,100. And he said, this concept, even if rates don't go down, I now have built in a buffer to cover the daycare bill that I really couldn't do, like if I was making the full payment. I have a woman who was like, this is awesome for me because right now I'm in this government job that I know my next job is going to double my income. So even if this doesn't work for me, I like this concept. And doing the videos are super helpful because I can loop in the real estate agent. So basically everyone has seen the numbers, watched the video. And then when we get on that video call or Teams call with the group, I've had multiple people say to me, you know, I feel like I have my team. I feel like I have my tribe. I have my squad. One woman said, because it was like a female situation. You know, and that is like a gold to me, you know, that's so impactful and better than any commission check, you know, you could ever ask for, because you are changing people's lives. And obviously the agents really like it and the listing agents love it, right? Because you get the calls of, what are they asking for this credit for? And you start educating them. Now you're getting more opportunities for business, because now you're showing your skills and educating the listing agent, which is great, you know. And then I just really think it's been very cool. I was telling you earlier, my profit margins have been way better, you know, and I'm not competing on rate, because who the heck's gonna shop my strategy? Nobody, you know. So it's been great.
So before we hang up, I'm gonna want to see a TCA, a
Oh yeah.
story, strategy that
Okay.
you're doing it.
Let's
Before
do that one.
before you do that though, you know, one of the things that I'm advocating for is, you know, first of all, now that it's Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang, you know, we have listing alerts, and I'm advocating to loan officers that every time you get a listing alert, you should create a Mortgage Coach total cost analysis that is an engagement tool with the realtors. Probably has a buy down. That's one question I have for you. How important are buy downs when it comes to helping realtors sell homes in this market? But to create a buy down options TCA for the realtor,
Mm-hmm.
and then also create one for the seller. And maybe you take a guess that, oh, they're going to buy a house that's 20% more. So if it's a $400,000 house, let's make a $500,000 TCA.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're literally like, every time you get that listing alert, you're going out to the realtor. I got an idea to help you sell that home. And you're going out to the buyer to say, or the seller to go, I have an idea on your next home.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I've had more listing agent outreach than ever before. They're calling me. So obviously if you're making your calls and you're explaining to people and you're showing them once or twice, next thing you know, they're calling you saying, hey, Gina, I have a buyer that came through. It's not my buyer, but I'm the listing agent and you have a solution. Can you call them? And I'm like,
Really?
and yes. And then I use that story too. I'll tell other agents, yes, so-and-so called me because I had a solution for a buyer, you know, that walked through their listing. And it wasn't even their client. So that absolutely would be a great entry. Obviously, if it's someone you haven't worked with either, then you can call them up and have that follow through and make it be, you know, a value add instead of just cold calling. I mean, I've heard some agents say to me, Gina, can you believe this guy just called me and said, hey, I heard you're a whale and you're a big agent and I should be calling on you. And this is not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
No, you need to come with a story or strategy on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super important, super powerful. How important is it for a loan officer to be able to have that 2-1 buy down conversation, show options with a total cost analysis to both realtors, buyers, and sellers? Scale of
I
1
would
to
say
10.
it's, yeah, extremely important, probably at least the 9, if not 10. How can you know, and there are some lenders right now, I'm educating them. They're like, oh yeah, I don't really think that's that great of a product. I'm like, do you even understand it? You know? So I'm educating them. Again, look, FHA isn't best for everyone. Conventional is not best for everyone. Strategy is not best for everyone. But if you can have something to say, and, you know, affordability is the main issue right now. So why can't you outline for them how to tackle that exact issue, right? Yes, I understand. Could you keep the money in your pocket and pay it out of your own savings and earn interest on your own? Sure. But what are everyone focused on that we talk about with the TCA? Monthly payment and cash to close. And if you can tackle the monthly payment temporarily, permanently, then you will get people to move or act or, consider a home. And then of course, once you get that momentum, then you can obviously help them get across the finish line.
So let's pull up one of your screen and let's do a little virtual site visit. Let's see if there's any nuances in how you're doing it. For everyone, Gina's, her and her team have done 52 of these over the last 30 days and a total of 2,259. So I remember, I think the first time I interviewed you, you had just become a grandmaster. You know, you were, you got on my
under
radar.
A year.
Yeah, you have become a grandmaster, which anyone listening, that means Gina had created over 1,000 TCAs all in 1 year. She went from I'm new to I'm killing it. And I think that wasn't that like spring of 2000 that you decided you needed to become a mortgage coach?
No, it was it was more closer to August because it's when I switched companies. Probably,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
I think it was around that time. It's all a little blurry, but
Well,
yeah, I think it was around that time.
it's good to have you on the team. So let's see, walk us through what we're looking at here. And then also, if you could share this one, share a link to this one, or share a link to one so that we've got this interview and we have a sample of one of your total cost analysis strategies.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the one that I will end up sharing will include the video because that is a requirement. So, you know, unless it's midnight or something like that, where it cannot be viewed, we always include a video. And that is part of my pitch every single time on the initial call with the client. They ask me, you know, what are the next steps? And it's the pre-approval, et cetera. And then what they can expect from me is this total cost analysis with a video message, because it's going to be from either myself or my pre-approval specialist, Gladys. So then that gives them an opportunity to meet her, you know, obviously virtually, because it's a video message. And I explained to them that they're very busy during the day. So if they can't watch it till after hours, this is a great opportunity to have that explanation. And they're really excited about that. So obviously we would have the video message here in the corner, but this analysis was for the 3-2-1 buy down. It was a single woman. And, you know, she was very concerned about monthly payment. And this was a strategy where she was putting at least 10% down. She's putting more than that, 15% down, so she could get that really substantial seller subsidy to cover the 3-2-1 buy down, which she got. So, you know, she really had a hard target of hitting $5,000 a month in monthly payment initially. So this is how we figured out, hey, you can buy a $950,000 home with 15% down and having a less than $5,000 monthly mortgage payment. So in the columns, we show year 1, year 2, year 3, and then year 4 and beyond. So they can see the difference in monthly payment. Obviously, the cash to close doesn't change because this is just the scenario to show them the monthly payment difference. But this person would not have bought a house if she didn't get this. And it's the story gets better and better and better because it was like in a neighborhood where her kids, you know, were born and they had so many friends there. It was a really incredible story. And now she's, you know, on her way. So this, as you can see, the monthly savings is incredibly huge, right? So lowering your interest rate 3% in year 1 made a really significant monthly savings. And that's what got her to act and buy the house.
So stop sharing and let's go to wrap up. So guys, this is how you win in this market. You know, you take someone like that, where, as Gina said, this woman probably wouldn't have bought a house right now. She would have been on the fence. And when you're a mortgage professional that can solve that problem, you know, one, you helped the borrower, you know, with an affordability strategy. And that gets around with realtors. When you're a loan officer, and did you hear people are calling Gina now saying, oh, you got that solution. And because she's selling solutions, not rates and fees, and I can close your loan on time. She's like, hey, I can help get folks under escrow. You know, we can get them into escrow, we can get them closed because we're going to show them strategies and we're going to walk them through. And look, I'm making it clear. I'm putting a video on it. So it's just never more important to do that. So Gina, I would love to interview you again and ask you more questions. Like, I am curious if you're doing open houses.
Am I attending them?
Well, do you have an open house strategy for realtors, and what else are you, and by the way, I don't want to go deep on it because I'm more kind of like prepping for our next call, but are you doing anything to help realtors get leads at open houses, or helping them in other ways? Anything that you're doing?
Well, I just got the call with a realtor. We were brainstorming about going after like teachers that trying like educating them on affordability. What are we going to do? Are we going to could do pop-bys? Are we going to host impromptu, like not impromptu, but informal happy hours, right? So I think right now there's a lot of brainstorming outside of the box ideas. Open houses, I think I just actually got off with someone who said, this weekend he went to a few open houses and there were 20 showings at one, 30 at the other. How fast is the pendulum going to swing back in the other direction? I'm not entirely sure, but I do think there's going to be a lot of activity with new buyers. I mean, just so much. So I think continuing to add value, adding stories, telling them what you're seeing in real time, and then they can mesh it with their situations, and just getting back out there with their past clients, their database, their sellers, right? I mean, also, I think taking this data and getting back in front of sellers so that we can get some more inventory, because we will need it for sure.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be, I mean, I think we're in a new era of mortgage and real estate, because 62% of mortgages in America are under 4%. Like, everybody get that? Like 62% of all mortgages in America are under 4%. So you're going to need to be a mortgage coach. You're going to need to be able to like talk with that consumer, because rates, well, maybe they'll get down to that rate again, but you're going to need to be able to have the conversation with that move up buyer that, you know what, you could rent out this home and you could buy this new home, and look what that would do to your net worth. Or even though you're having to sell this 3% home, look what this is going to do to your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to need to be able to have a more strategic conversation to get inventory. And then what one of I just released the top 10 videos in Mortgage Coach, and there's 6 strategies. One of them is first-time home buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a whole approach and strategy with first-time home buyers?
Yeah, everyone is unique. I think my approach is really getting in front of them to get them to move, because first-time home buyers are largely millennials, which are the largest living demographic right now. And if you watch, obviously, any of the Barry Habib, 1990 was one of the highest birth rate years, which now those people are 33 years old, which is a really high household formation age. So I do think that there's a lot of like pent up demand with those buyers, but showing them rent versus buy, largely their biggest issue. Well, some of it's just like social, right? They feel like, oh, I need to be married to do this. My life needs to be here, but I'm tired of waiting, and a lot of it is encouragement and doing back of the envelope calculations with them to get them to apply, because I think the hardest thing is just showing up for that initial video call and explaining to them what they can expect. And I think they all love the reviews we get on the Mortgage Coach are just through the roof, because of the video message, because of the side-by-side analysis, because of how simple it is to digest. And something as complicated as the temporary rate buy down, you can see how simple it is to digest. You know what I mean? The information. So when I explain to them that I'm going to make it simple for them, then they move forward. And that's what I'm always looking for, is having them take action.
Cool. Well, let's try to work our schedules and have you as a guest on a Tuesday at 9 or Friday at 9.
Okay.
Let's talk about all the ways that you're helping realtors. Let's talk about, first-time home buyer strategies. Just think of, okay, I got Mortgage Coach. I am a mortgage coach. What are all the ways I'm helping realtors? And let's get that on the calendar. You cool with that?
Yes, that sounds good.
All right, Gina, really appreciate you. Hope everybody got value from this conversation. Make sure you follow us. You subscribe to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, and make sure you follow our group at Mortgage Coach Mastermind. Take care, everybody.